Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing the first sign of a major shift in the cryptocurrency market, a major shift that most people are ignorant towards. That is the shift from Bitcoin dominance to altcoin dominance. Bitcoin is coming out of favor from market participants and altcoins are coming into favor. The shift hasn't happened massively yet, but the inklings, the evidence is there to suggest it will occur soon. And here's how you can best position yourself to take full advantage of the incoming altcoin season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Guys, before we get into the content today, go ahead and check out the VIP group in the description below. You can find the information and results group chat giving you the payment information, the pricing details, what you need to know about the group, and a PDF of all the historical trading results of our altcoin trading group on Telegram. If you want to trade altcoins with me, that's where you can do it. We've then got the BitGet and BingX exchanges. BingX is global non-KYC, so you can sign up from anywhere in the world with an email address, a password, and a VPN in some locations. And then BitGet is global KYC minus the USA and Canada. Check out both these exchanges. Very low trading fees. Extra 15% trading fee discount with my referral link in the description below. And then finally, the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader 10-unit course will teach you everything you need to know about technical analysis and fundamentals. It's all on the website. Check it out. Guys, let's get into the content. I want to be very clear about what this video actually is because it might not be extremely clear by the title and thumbnail. This video is in relation to Bitcoin and altcoins and what you should be focusing your priority on now, right? Should you buy Bitcoin or should you buy altcoins? The fact of the matter is the market has changed, or the market is on the verge of changing, okay? And I'm not talking about the 4-year cycle. I'm not talking about any kind of super cycle. I'm talking about the way that the market is moving right now in relation to Bitcoin strength and altcoin strength. I'm on the Bitcoin dominance chart right now. And what we see is two kind of significant events on the Bitcoin dominance chart that shift the market. So the Bitcoin dominance chart, just to tell you what it is a chart that measures Bitcoin strength in relation to altcoin strength. So right now it's at 53.38%, meaning that 53.38% of the cryptocurrency market is in Bitcoin and the remaining 46% is in altcoins, okay? So if this chart goes up, it means that Bitcoin is gaining dominance in the market. It means that a higher percentage of the entire crypto market, a higher percentage of the entire amount of money in crypto market is in Bitcoin and a lower percentage is in altcoins. If it goes down, the opposite occurs, right? If it goes down, it means more money is in altcoins. And so the way this chart moves gives us a very good idea of whether we should be heavily in Bitcoin or heavily in altcoins, right? Because obviously if Bitcoin's underperforming against altcoins, we should be in altcoins because we're more likely to make money. Or if Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins, we should be in Bitcoin. Now, obviously in bull markets and bear markets, this chart behaves very differently. In bull markets, it actually tanks to the downside. So for example, in 2017, this chart absolutely plummeted, right? So in a bull market, people don't care about Bitcoin that much. Okay, people watch Bitcoin because Bitcoin topping out obviously leads to altcoins topping out. But as long as Bitcoin is rising, people are more focused on altcoins in a bull market. They're more focused on being greedy and making a bunch of money on altcoins essentially, right? So in bull markets, you see this tank dramatically. And then in bear markets, you see it start to rise again gradually because people flock into Bitcoin for security in a bear market, right? In bear markets, altcoins don't do well. Bitcoin outperforms altcoins in bear markets. So we've seen this on multiple occasions now. For example, 2017, it went down in the bear market. 2018, 2019, it went upwards in the bull market. Same thing in 2020, 2021, right? So 2021, it went downwards massively in the bull market. Altcoins did very well. Bitcoin did okay, but altcoins outperformed it. And now it's been rising ever since the lows in November 2022, which lines up with what happened in the last cycle, right? People have flocked to Bitcoin for security and altcoins have not been performing as well. That's very normal market behavior. But right now, what you'll actually notice is two things. First thing, okay, you see a very distinctive descending resistance line on the Bitcoin dominance chart that you can actually draw all the way back from 2016. I'm going to mark it in pink so you can see it very clearly. This is a resistance line. Now, what does that mean? It means that Bitcoin dominance is being clamped downwards, and it means there is a potential, right? There's a chance that Bitcoin dominance could be rejected here and start going downwards, which would line up pretty well with the start of the bull market occurring after the halving. So we have that is one, right? That's number one. The second thing I want to show you is these circles on the screen. Now, the writing shows you that the yellow circles represent the halving on Bitcoin, right? Represent the date of the halving on Bitcoin. And the red circles represent Bitcoin breaking out of its prior all-time high. Now, what you'll see is that at the yellow circle, at the halving for Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance tanks significantly. It sees its first significant drop. That happened back here in 2016. It also happened over here in 2020. And at the red circle, when Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, Bitcoin dominance rarely starts to go down, right? In 2017, that marked the ultimate top, and we started tanking massively. And in 2021, it pretty much did the same thing. We saw one more brief pump, and then after that, we started tanking massively. So right now, we are approaching the yellow circle. We're approaching the halving, which means we are approaching a period of time in which Bitcoin dominance will see its first significant drop. It won't go downwards too much, right? It won't be the end of the world holding Bitcoin instead of altcoins, but it will be the first step in the direction of altcoins outperforming Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, that step will turn into a leap, right? And at that point, it would be irrational to be holding large amounts of Bitcoin, and it would be very, very rational to be holding large amounts of altcoins, right? So not only are we approaching the halving, which will be the first step in the direction of altcoin dominance and altcoin season, but we actually are rejecting right now from a pink descending line, which again is another indication that the Bitcoin dominance top might be in. Now, what I will say is this: if the Bitcoin dominance top is not in, it is pretty close to being in, okay? So the way I see it is that if Bitcoin, which by the way, it's very hard to tell you exactly what Bitcoin's going to do right now, because we're seeing a period of time, as I've been repeated over and over again on my YouTube channel, where the 4-year cycle is looking good, it's still valid, but right now we are threatening to break macro trends, and Bitcoin is moving quite fast, and there are whispers of super cycle, and we don't really know how Bitcoin would react to a super cycle. We don't really know how altcoins would react to a super cycle. Would all the attention be on Bitcoin, or would it be on altcoins? Is that even confirmed? Not yet. So there's so many questions in regards to Bitcoin right now, but just going off the macro trends that we have, what can I say? Well, based on the macro trends we have, I would say that the top of Bitcoin dominance is either in or very close to being in. So it's in now, and the top would have been 55%, which is what we reached, or we could go upwards maybe one more step to the next resistance at 57% to 58%. But for the most part, I think the Bitcoin dominance is pretty much topped out. If not, there will be one more leg to the upside, right? And this kind of, brings back to what I was saying before. The halving's coming. That generally leads to the first major drop on Bitcoin dominance. And then the Bitcoin breaking all-time highs, breaking 70K in this case, or breaking 69K, which is the previous all-time high on Bitcoin, would be another step down. So the shift in the market is this. The market is changing right now. Everything is kind of changing. It's shifting away from a Bitcoin dominant market to an altcoin dominant market. We haven't quite done it yet, but we are making the step, making the progress towards an altcoin season, which will last throughout the entirety of the bull market. Now, obviously within an altcoin season, right? So for example, the entirety of the 2017 bull market, all the way to January 2018, was technically an altcoin season, right? Because Bitcoin dominance is going downwards. But that doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't outperform altcoins at certain times, right? For example, although the trend was massively downwards, we did have weeks on end on 3 separate occasions here where Bitcoin did pretty well and actually outperformed altcoins. So just because the shift in the market might be going towards, altcoins gaining dominance and Bitcoin falling behind, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin constantly has to be doing worse than altcoins. It just means on a generalized scale it is. So right now, again, just to say it one more time, we are shifting into a market where Bitcoin is slowly starting to dwindle away. It's not Bitcoin's not in a bad place yet at all. It's not illogical to hold Bitcoin over altcoins right now. I don't think that, this video is meant to be a signal for you to sell all of your Bitcoin and go into low cap altcoins, or sell all your Bitcoin and go into altcoins in general. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that right now, as someone who's 75% of their portfolio is in Bitcoin, right? I have 75% of my portfolio in Bitcoin right now. I'm saying that I'm going to start incrementally shifting that into altcoins quite soon. Maybe not just yet. Right, maybe I'll see what happens here. I'll get some more clarity on whether we're going to break these macro trends. I'll get some more clarity on the super cycle. I'll get some more clarity on whether the 4-year cycle is playing out perfectly. But over the next few months, I will very much be considering that one of the biggest questions and one of the biggest topics of priority for me to dive into and look at and very carefully inspect. Do I start incrementally selling off my Bitcoin and shifting that capital into altcoins? That's the big question I'm facing right now. And with charts like this creeping up on the list of importance, I think this is a crucially important question and crucially important topic. Right now, there are indications that the period of Bitcoin dominance might be coming to an end. And that would lead to a much higher incentive to start investing in altcoins. Now, the question is, what altcoins do you go into? Do you go into low caps? Do you go into high caps? Well, I've discussed this question quite heavily in the past. I think overall, if I'm being serious, if we're looking at the total 2 market cap, so this is a chart called the total 2. It's the entire market cap of cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin. We can see that, for example, we take something like June 2021 to the November top. We can see that the total 2 market caps, again, which is the entire market cap of crypto minus Bitcoin, gained 190%. The total 3, which is the entire market cap of cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, gained the exact same percentage point, pretty much. So what we can see is that, generally speaking, it doesn't necessarily matter too much whether you go into low caps or high caps, but it is very much worth noting, of course, inherently, that low caps, okay, low market capitalization coins, are very hard to measure because they don't have an effect on the market. They don't have much of an effect because the market capitalization is so low. They don't have much of an effect on charts like this, so it's very hard to measure whether they've done well or badly in the past at different points of the cycle. So I would personally, and what I'm personally doing is, I've got a portfolio right now with 75% Bitcoin, and about 25%, the rest of my portfolio pretty much, is in low caps. And that's because I have reason to believe, and I've had reason to believe for many months, that Bitcoin dominance is rising. Therefore, investing in high caps and medium caps is a logical idea. So I've been in a market, historically we all have been, where Bitcoin has been the dominant force for the last year and a half. And so being in Bitcoin heavily is the right idea. Since we can't measure low caps that well, I've taken the gamble, and I've been 25% in low caps. It's paid out. But now I'm in a situation where the market dominance is flipping back into altcoin territory. And so the question is, well, do I start getting into mid cap and high cap altcoins? And again, that's something I'll need to ask myself. But I think overall, it's not a bad time to start doing so. Maybe now, maybe at the halving, maybe in a couple of months from now, it's the time to start going into medium cap altcoins and high cap altcoins. Because again, just to clarify, low cap altcoins, you cannot measure how well they have done historically. They are too low in the percentage of the cryptocurrency market cap to have any effect on the charts. So low cap altcoins I've been holding them for months, right? And the reason I've done that, again, is because I can't measure them. They're a high risk portion of my portfolio. I've got Bitcoin, I've got low caps. Now the question is, as Bitcoin dominance starts to turn around and reverse, do we start getting into mid caps and high caps? I think that answer is leaning more and more to yes, you do start doing that. I'm not personally going to do it quite yet, but it is something that I'm going to start considering. I'm going to start building a list of mid cap and high cap coins because the market, in my opinion, is shifting. Things are changing here. I think mid cap and high cap altcoins are going to start outperforming Bitcoin quite significantly, especially towards the middle and end of this year. And for most of 2025, I think that will be the case as well. So guys, yes, this is a time of change in the market here. We are shifting. Bitcoin dominance could have one more leg upwards here. I'm not saying sell all your Bitcoin and go into altcoins right now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are signs the market is shifting, and it might be a good time to start researching mid-cap and high-cap altcoins, start getting a list prepared so when you have the evidence, you can make that shift incrementally out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. I hope it didn't complicate this video too much. I didn't try to. I know I had some stuttering towards the end there. I hope I got the points across pretty clearly. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.